refer to you as what you are, which is a booger bear.
Mm-mm-mm.
Go
Mike,
ahead.
Mike, you with the $5 super chat. He said, "Is that Uncle Ruckus? Are you Uncle
Well,
Ruckus, chaotic?"
well, even though Mike did not hit the super chat,
I know he did it by
I'm.
see he
Oh, I
separated.
did. Sorry about that,
Yeah,
Mike. Sorry
yeah.
about that, sir. Mike, if I'm an Uncle Ruckus, well, we all are Uncle Ruckuses. We all live in this country. None of you are living in the great countries in Africa. None of you are working for those governments or working for any businesses in Africa. Mike, I would ask you, Mike, do you work for Enrico Dangote? Do you work for any other African billionaire? That's interesting. I bet you work for the white man, Mike. So cam up, call in, show me your African made car, show me the African country you live in, show me the African company you work for, Mike. But salute to you, Mike. Keep the super chats coming, my good sir.
Yeah, I just want
Go ahead.
to Q, you up next, but I just want to shout out B Rad, Dana, Yamaha, Cash Flow, Mike, you, Hank the basement. Hey Hank, I'll be fucking with your takes on Lapeef too. B Rad, if I missed you, I apologize. I'll get to y'all soon. I appreciate y'all commentary in the chat. Q, what up though?
This nigga. Okay. I'm trying to be so patient. So let me get my words together. Okay. A bitch is a bitch, regardless of her fucking race. But my thing is this. The thing that you seem to be skipping over is how evil and sneaky white women can be. Like, it's not even on no like, oh, they're the better option. What the fuck does that even mean? The level of sneakiness that comes with them, and we see this shit play out in the media, right? We're not gonna gloss over the Jonathan Major shit. You know what I'm saying? We're not gonna gloss over the fucking Karens of America. I'm baffled by your description of this angelic fucking ceramic queen
Wow.
whoever the fuck you're describing. That's blowing my mind. Like,
Well, oh, I'm
there's
sorry.
no. Let me land. Let me land.
Mhm.
So it's like you're glossing over that, like, well, black women act this way but white women act this way, so I prefer a black woman that acts like a white woman. So you prefer a smiling bitch that's gonna fuck you over in the long run, is what you're saying. If that's the better option, that's what you're really saying. I fuck all this nice shit, like, you know what I mean? It sounds like you're more concerned with surface level shit than you are some real solid shit. You know what I mean? Like, I could give a fuck if you nice and smiling and all that other extra. That don't make you a better option. That just mean that you phony as shit. You see how these bitches move and operate. You know what I'm saying? And that's not to say there's not black bitches too. But I'm just saying, like, we're not gonna sit up here and act like, oh, white women are the better option and you should be doing this and staying away from this and that and that. Fuck all that. I don't know what the fuck type of shit you on, my nigga. Like, I can see where some of your perspective is at, but you got to put that shit across the board. Like, that ain't applying just to like black women and all this booger bear and nappy headed shit. You got to kill all that.
Well, I'm gonna broach what you said. Well, first of all, I bet you couldn't name me 5 black men who've gotten caught up by white women. I bet you couldn't give me a resource to it. Now, me having worked in law enforcement, I've worked for the courts.
Okay, so when
Um,
so then
oh,
let me ask you.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let me broach you real quick. Excuse me. I've worked for the courts. I've worked for the Cuyahoga County Adult Probation Office many years ago when I was a much younger man. The majority of black men on my caseload who got caught up with a woman got caught up with a black woman. Um, a lot of black men who've gotten murdered at the hands of another black man off of what a woman said, the woman was a black woman. A lot of men who are in the penitentiary, man, that I know, off of the allegations of a woman, the woman was a black woman. Even in college, the same thing happened. I remember, and hopefully my best friend Blue Cousins in the chat, he could tell you. In college, there was a lot of black dudes messing around, dating white women. Nothing ever happened. But there were a lot of black dudes. There was all types of rumors circulating around what this black dude had done because a black woman can't control her damn liquor. You mentioned the Karen, my good man. As I've told, this might be risky, and as I tell people this all the time, the Karen is an angel. She has the balls to go up to some weed smoking, dice shooting, drive by shooting Negroes and tell them, stop, don't do that. See, the Karen, hear me out for a minute. I'm about to land a plane. This might be risky. See, this is what the Karen does, and this is what I love about the white Karen. See, I'll give you an example. A park will say no dogs allowed. And Negroes, typically breaking the law, they'll have their pit bulls in the park. The black woman won't say anything. The black man won't say anything. But the white Karen will go over to those group of Negroes and say, excuse me, you cannot have those dogs in here. So the Negro, he's so primitive and so wild and so emotional, he takes out his camera. You a racist, Karen. You a racist, Karen. But a Negro like me will say, hold on, niggas. Think about this. This white woman is doing the work of the Lord, and she's also time traveling. Well, you may be asking, what do you mean by time traveling? See, the Karen already, give me a second, guys. The Karen already knows that wherever Negroes go, they destroy shit. How do we know that? Look at many communities that you've probably seen in your life destroyed by Negroes. She knows that if you let these dumb Negroes break the law with just this minor thing with the dogs in the park, the next thing you know, these dumb Negroes will be shooting dice and shooting at each other while they're kids in the park. The next thing you know, these stupid Negroes will have pimps and prostitutes in the park, and it'll be needles in the park. How do you know this? Hell, I've experienced it in my life. I've seen beautiful neighborhoods in my life that were once working class black neighborhoods, hear me out, destroyed by Negroes not being Karens. The Karen prevents destruction. Now, are a lot of Karens obnoxious? Sure, why not? But the difference between the white Karen and the do nothing booger bear black woman is the do nothing booger bear black woman will sit there and allow chaos to happen. And that is why the white Karen will always be treasured in my heart. I'm gonna give you a story, and this might be risky. You know about this story.
Well, hold on, let me read this super chat. But let me because that was a lot. So does anybody have anything for that specifically?
But I wanted to still broach that real quick before I get.
Well, hold on, because that was a long thought. So I just want to make sure they can consume that. If anybody had a rebuttal for that or something regarding that, I want them to address it, and then you could tell the story. Dana Downs with $2 super chat. Yeah, Dana Downs with the $2 super chat for Mike's. I ain't reading this shit. Q, can you read this?
What? Okay, yeah, she loving on Mike for Mike's fine African entrepreneurial ass. All right,
bruh, put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here. Come on.
Now, this might be risky. Let me just finish this real quick with this story.
No. Hold. You about to tell the story?
It relates to the Karen. Real quick.
Eddie, did you have something for the Karens though?
It's gonna be real quick.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, bro.
Me and Blue Cousin, and hopefully he's in the chat, he'll tell you. About 8 or 9 years ago, we started a property preservation company. We were working on a home on a dead-end street that's by the lake. A lot of these homes are by the lake. Mixed communities. You can only go 15 miles down the street. Now, me, and like most people, we tend to speed. I'm going about 25 down the street. I do a U-turn. It's a white chick in the street, old white lady like this. I stop my car. She says, excuse me, sweetheart, you know that there are children on the street and you know you were going over the speed limit. Now, me, being the civilized Negro that I am, I say, you know what? I see what this lady's doing. What if a kid is hit on this damn street? All because she didn't check every last person who's speeding on this street. That's what the Karen does. And that's what a lot of old school black people used to do before a lot of Negroes started becoming scared to say stuff in their own damn neighborhoods. But I landed the plane on that. This might be risky. Salute to you, sir. Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, hold on. Let me just say this, Ham. Yeah, I might not have 5 for you, chaotic, but I got motherfucking Jonathan Majors and any nigga ever been attached to a fucking Kardashian. Let's go.
Shit like that.
Jeff, what up? You wanted to go in on this?
Yeah. First and foremost, I think this nigga is profoundly entertaining. So kudos to you on being very entertaining. Because I personally don't believe you believe half the shit that you say, but I am in fucking tears over here. Um,
So what you
in
telling him? You
regards
telling him
to
this, Jeff?
Stop the cap.
That what you
the
gonna tell
white
him?
women shit, I wanted to present this book by his last name's Woodard, but it's a book called The Delectable Negro. And yeah, I know I love history. The Delectable Negro is about white people, your beloved white woman, as you've discussed her the last couple of minutes, eating black people, right? We know about this from the murder of several blacks who have tried to have revolutions during slavery and try to, get free essentially. They would essentially hang them, burn them, turn their skin, their eyes, everything else into some sort of leather goods and all of that, right? Again, referring to this profoundly amazing angelic white woman that you profess to be above all things, particularly a black woman. Now, in terms of there being problematic behaviors that exist within our sisters, absolutely, right? As Q mentioned, she said there's no perfect woman, right? But in terms of pedestalizing white women, like there's nothing profound at all about, these Caucasoids who, up until they encountered black people, they were walking on all fours, right? So you have this white woman that for some reason you had some sort of very limited contact with, and now you hold her high in regard, right? The amount of femininity, decency, care, and being overall polite in public and all these things is not a white exclusive narrative, right? For some reason that works for you. But again, and I'll close here, Ham, to not be long winded. I just think it's something entertaining to talk about. I mean, you got the chat on flames right now, but I don't think that you largely believe the shit that you say.
I agree with Eddie.
Hey,
Yeah.
I got. Oh, after he responds, I want to go.
Well, go ahead. Go ahead. He can probably
Okay,
do
cool.
that.
So I appreciate everything that you said, Eddie. So now I don't gotta be like one for one chaotic, yo. The way you present your points and stuff, masterful, right? I was definitely taking notes, so I got to go back in and even watch some more, right? However, like you can't call women bitches and stop calling them names. Like you can't do that because you a bitch too. You know what I'm saying? Like with a lot of the shit you talking, you wouldn't keep that same energy any and everywhere that you went. So strong case could be made that you a bitch ass nigga too. So let's chill with the degrading piece. Now, again, in terms of the points you were making, classic, right? The way you were even bringing it back, classic. I definitely got things that I can learn from you in terms of, speaking on the podcast, but let's just chill with the name calling piece, right? And then it is crazy how it's like black women are so much more. And I get the question is mostly stated on conduct, but that's a large minority. That's not the majority of black women who act that way. And so you do a great job of taking those points and trying to make it seem like it's the majority of them, and that's not the case. You know what I'm saying? And so that and even with like their feelings, and sometimes they will get emotional and will respond out of their feelings, but a lot of times the way podcasts are set up, we put them in that box and try to leave them there. So again, a lot of your points fire, definitely things that I can learn from, but some of that energy you be crossing the lines, and it's not cool. So every time you call one of them a name or out their name, I'm gonna come off the mic and I'm gonna call you a bitch too, because that's how you will move in certain situations. Like you wouldn't be saying the same shit if you was in certain circles. Like let's be real. The internet, you can say whatever you want to because you're good, right? You're protected. And then a lot of the things that you say, you don't even really hang out with a lot of black people. You only know 50 black men. Black women are so much better than just their conduct. And you're speaking on isolated incidents as well as situations that it only applies to the minority, a large minority, but it's still a minority of women. Most women who have served me that have been black have been great, have been phenomenal. You know what I'm saying? Smiling, I can joke with, I can rock with. Being around black women, they support me more than anybody else and always have. So for you to then sit here put a white woman on a pedestal and call her an angel, my nigga, you're bugging, bro. You're bugging. So yeah, that's it.
Well, let me broach Mr. White. For 50 years, you blacks have been listening to the absolute most worst form of art form in the history of mankind. Rappers have been calling black women bitches for 50 years. And let's not even talk about the hold on for a second, guys. Let's not even talk about the predecessors to that. The old school funk, not funk, but the old school Curtis Mayfields and the promotion of pimping that was prevalent in the black community. Hell, your famous leader, Malcolm X, was a pimp. What do you think he was calling black women? Well, he probably was with white women too, but what do you think he was calling women? Me, I don't refer to I didn't refer to a single woman as a bitch. I was just saying it in common conversation. But rappers say they call black women bitches every damn lyric. Rappers talk about all types of destruction in the black community. So if we're gonna check me, I think we should all check the rappers who openly talk about murdering black people, who openly talk about selling.
hold on.
Give me a second. I was quiet.
You're right.
Give me a second.
You were absolutely.
Who openly talk about murdering one another, who actually murder people. Every week you hear about a rapper either murdered someone. There was a rapper the other day, I don't even know his name. There's so many of them. He shot, I think he shot and killed his mother and sister. Craziness. But nobody says anything to them. So me, hold on for a second. Me, a person who is married, I don't walk around calling black women to their faces bitches. I would never do that. Why would I on earth call anybody a bitch to their face? I'm just having a conversation. But if we're gonna check someone, I would say let's check everybody. Let's check me. You're right. I could be considered a bitch for what I did, but let's also check the little hoodlum little gangster rappers or drill rappers and the old school rappers. Last night we went over lyrics, did we not? This might be risky. I think we should go over some lyrics right now from Too Short, from MC8, from Spice One, or bring it up to date, Tupac, or even further up to date. Which one do you want to go to? This might be risky. Let's do some lyrics real quick about all the blacks that you guys make heroes. Tupac, you guys love this nigga. All he ever did was call black women bitches. Am I lying? Am I lying? This might be risky.
Yeah, you're lying. For one,
okay, that's
hold on. You know, for you asked the question, so you open it back up to me. So for one, you can't say just because what rappers do, that's the consensus for what the majority of black people stand for and believe in. And two, you make valid points, right? Like they need to be checked too, but they're not on the podcast right now. You are. So I have no problem with checking one of them niggas too for the things that they say. Now, and me sometimes too, like I'll step out of line. You know, it's been times when I have, called a woman a bitch, things like that too. But if I'll say it to their face too. And so that's all I mean. Like you, with your safety, I feel like you'll talk one way because you're good. You behind the screen. You wouldn't keep that same energy anywhere else. And I also, again, want to reiterate, like the points you make, I don't disagree with a lot of the things you say. You know what I'm saying? Even though I only listen to you on Tuesday, but it's just the name calling, then referring to kids as monkeys. Like,
but hold on, hey, that's a different one. We're gonna hit that one.
Real quick. You say that I won't talk like this in person, sir. I have about 2 or 3 people in the chat who've known me for over. Blue Cousin is my best friend. He's in the chat. When I say that blacks are violent, well, why can't I just talk around other black people? I thought that we weren't violent. Wait a minute, I'm confused here. So, are we violent or are we not violent? Are we monkeys or are we doves? I mean, are we peaceful or are we not peaceful then? Because all I'm doing is talking. I have a right to freedom of speech, even around people. So are you saying if I were to talk like this around other people, you mean to tell me these angelic black people would attack me? I thought that they were angels.
Right. So I never said they were angels. And that's
Mm.
another thing. You good. I'm gonna go back and watch you because you a beast
Okay.
with it.
Okay.
Right. So one, I never said that they were angels. I never said that, hey, they conduct themselves the best at all times. What I said was, yo, we don't need to name call in the way you are tearing them down, like with the B word. Now, even back to the point in terms of being able to talk and not feel violence, because we can be a violent people. Yeah, some of us are that way. White people are that way too. But the things you say can cause for strokes. Ain't that what the good words say here? You got to be careful with that you say, and you can't just talk freely any and everywhere. And that's where the stand on it comes from, right? Of course, you always want to be, strategic. But again, you wouldn't keep that same energy everywhere you go, regardless of if you, and it's not nothing I can prove, but we know. You know what I'm saying? We know.
Just to piggyback off of Mr. White, chaotic. I believe you are in character, and that's fine. It's cool. But just to piggyback off what he's saying, there's nowhere in hell everywhere you go, you dealing with all individuals that actually believe in the shit that's coming out of your mouth. So there's gonna be a chance one day, somebody might want to take a shot at you and so on and so forth, because it can't be you can't live in this world, this made up world that you think you live in, where everybody's believing this bullshit that you spewing out. It's just unrealistic. So go ahead.
Yeah, I want to say
Well,
something to that too. You
oh,
mentioned
sorry.
Tupac and him calling women bitches and try to make it seem like that's his whole career, but you failed to mention the fact that he spoke so eloquently on the song Dear Mama. So give that man his credit. Because you ain't
Tupac
saying
was
shit
that. Oh, I'm
positive
sorry.
about black women yet.
Tupac was a gang banging thug who got killed because of his behavior. He was a detriment to the black community, and Dolores Tucker was absolutely right about him and rappers at all. I don't glorify this man. I don't glorify any other rapper. I glorify black engineers, black doctors, black astronauts. I could care less about any of these rappers or any of these entertainers. They're court jesters. They're clowns for the global entertainment market. So I could care less about some song about Dear Mama where he's praising his mom who was a damn dope fiend. No, what about all the black moms who weren't dope fiends and who did everything right for their kids? So I could care less about Tupac or that dumb song he made 20 something years ago.
Yeah,
So
but he
that
made a lot of other good songs though.
So one thing I want to, I just want to make sure we're clear on, because I think the point, I understand all the points, but have we, when we heard these songs, right, and maybe we just using them for entertainment, but I guarantee if I say a line, let me see, can y'all participate with me? Can you guys? Yes.
Yeah, let's go.
Sure.
All right. What's my favorite word?
Bitch.
Right.
So no, I'm not saying that proves the point, but that is the point, right? That we've allowed this in our culture. So what is the difference with him saying it?
Because he's said nothing positive about black women this whole time. So that give it a completely different tone. He might as well be a white nigga.
Okay.
can
I
I
mean, too
respond?
sure it didn't specify who was the bitch in that record.
Can I respond to this? Can I respond to her? This might be risky.
Yeah, go ahead.
Again, I have just using YouTube. I have made videos about black doctors that are females. I did one about a young lady who was the first. She's accepted into the neurosurgeon residency at Vanderbilt. I think this might be risky. Was up there that day. I've talked highly about black astronauts, black mathematicians that were women. Katherine Johnson being one of them. I've done all types of videos on the Lapeef Network about black women. Uh, I talk about good black women, and I also talk about bad black women. If anybody, and I don't know, I'm not gonna say you, but if anybody is getting upset about me saying that black women should shut their mouth in public and should not wear skimpy clothes, hey man, that's up to you. But I'm telling you what I believe. You can believe what you want to believe. But yes, when I go into a grocery store, I'm going to look for the old black woman to go do business with. I'm not going to go to Shaniqua's line who got the raptor claw nails with an attitude. I don't have time for it. So yes, I do segregate. I don't believe in integration in terms of certain black people. I am a classist. So if I see you with raptor claw nails and you got a mohawk as a female and you're smacking gum and you got a sassy attitude, I'm not doing business with you. I would do business with a conservative dressed black woman. I would do business with an old black woman. I'm not talking to a Shaniqua. And I think that's what was so shocking to 6 the goddess. This might be risky. She's thinking I'm a simp, like most dudes who follow her. No, you're a dime a dozen. I went to college with a lot of 6s. But go ahead though. Go ahead. This might be risky. What's
So I
next?
got a
I'm gonna go
question.
back to the Tupac
Well,
reference.
let me read the super chat real quick. Q. Cashflow hustles with the $5 super chat. Shout out. At least Amber Heard slipped through the cracks and got. That's one white queen that got cut down. Or and then one more, and then you could jump in. Q. Dana Downs with the $20 super chat.
Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that. Shit like that.
Appreciate you.
Shit like that. Shit like that.
I probably end up getting her a drink when she come out anyway, so she gonna get it back. But whatever. I got it. I can't fight shirt for chaotic if he'll wear it in public around you monkey niggas and talk the same talk. Pound
Well,
DT.
can I answer that? Can I answer that?
Chaotic. Just for clarity, if I didn't read it clear, there's
I
a
got it.
shirt that says I can fight, so she want to pay you to wear it.
Again, I don't understand why this whole notion of you won't do that around nobody. I'm like, dude, black people don't. You're not a power. You don't own nothing in the country. You don't control the military. You don't control the goddamn streets that you're walking on. You're not. Who ain't nobody scared of no niggas. That's what you got to understand, Dana. Dana, I've worked in the inner cities before. Dana, everything that I'm saying now, I literally used to say this in the inner cities, especially in the schools. Dana, ain't nobody walking around afraid of no niggas. Niggas don't control any type of global politics, anything dealing with geopolitics. Niggas don't control any import export. Niggas don't control industry at a high level. Now, are there successful black people in the country? Sure. I named a whole bunch of them yesterday. But you're not as tough as you think you are. You got people who will literally curb stomp you in terms of every aspect of civilization. The Japanese, the Chinese. Let's stop the games. If I'm afraid of anybody, it's the goddamn Chinese. I'm afraid of Xi Jinping. I'm not afraid of Pookie who lives down the street with a gun. Stop it. No, real power, not some nigga with a gun. Go ahead, guys. Hopefully that answers your super chat, though, Dana. You can ask some more super chats, Dana. Go ahead.
Yo, so I spoke about Tupac and some of his lyrics, and everything in you hurt to actually get that man his credit, right? But then you go on to say, on this platform, I failed at acknowledging how great black women are, but on another platform, I did it. So can I say the same thing within the same vein of what you were saying? Fuck what you did on another platform, because wasn't that what you did? You were like, I don't give a fuck about that. The songs that he made that were positive. This is what he's done. So I'm coming at you with that same energy. We don't give a fuck about what you said on another platform. It's how you're conducting yourself on this platform that you're being held accountable. Is that fair?
Tupac wrote poetry. ... Wow. He didn't do anything of significance, ma'am. No, none of these rappers, none of these musicians.
But what have you said positive about black women on this platform?
I literally just said that Katherine Johnson yesterday and today, she, along with a team of scientists and mathematicians, who calculated the trajectory to get to the moon, ma'am. I said that yesterday. I talked very positive about black women.
Did you say that today, though?
I didn't get a chance to, but I just said it now.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. I wasn't on yesterday's show. Okay. So again, the same way you dismissed the Tupac shit, I have to do that. I don't know nothing about
you that. Should probably go back and watch yesterday's show. Then.
Okay, that'd
be
great.
Prepared
but
yourself.
I'm talking about what you're saying today, right?
Yeah,
so I had to go off of that. The same way that you're going off of these lyrics.
Yeah.
But you don't know the person in real life, right? You don't know how they
I would never want to know him in real life.
So I'm going off of what you're saying. Nothing you've said so far, because like you said, I didn't get a chance to say that, right? Has been positive. So I'm going off of that.
Ma'am, you should probably calm down and just probably watch like the first hour and then come back.
What the fuck is a calm down?
You should probably log off and just watch yesterday's show real quick and come back. I think that.
No, I don't need to do that.
Okay, because I think
staying here because we're here today.
Oh, okay. Well, like I said before, I think that there's some miscommunication. I think that because you didn't watch yesterday, you're probably dead in the water, unfortunately. But you probably
you're saying what you're saying, and I'm hearing you, and I'm responding to